Should you have a deadline for your fitness goals, whether that's to lose weight or add muscle? And what happens if you miss the deadline? Hey guys, it's Mo Master here, author, speaker, coach. And today I really want to talk to you about basically whether or not you should have deadlines for your fitness goals and what happens if you don't reach your deadlines. Well, my take on it is this. If you set yourself a goal, then without a deadline, you're going to procrastinate and you're not going to take as much action as if you have a goal, a deadline that you're working towards. Think of it like if you were doing an exam. I remember when I was back in college and in university, in fact, they used to give us assignments and they'd give us a deadline for the assignment to be handed in. Okay, and what would also often happen is that the closer we would get to the exam period, the more people would then start working on their assignments, and then it would go crazy sort of the night before. You'd hear of all these stories of all these people staying up late at night trying to get their exams done and cramming for the, revising and cramming and all this stuff, because they basically left it till last minute. Now, if there was no date at all, then there wouldn't be any action. Okay, so there is some positive elements to this, even though they left it till last minute. The point is this, you need to have a deadline if you want to achieve your goals. Okay, this is something that Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was the former Mr. Olympia 7 times in a row, he actually said every time he used to get in shape, he'd always have a deadline. So I highly recommend you have a deadline. So what exactly is a deadline anyway? It's basically a date by which you want to achieve your goal. Okay, so if you want to, say, lose 10 pounds of body fat or 20 pounds of body fat, whatever it might be, you want to set yourself a goal. Now, I would say with this, because you're dealing with your body, to be realistic, okay? Don't say you want to lose 30 pounds in the next week, because that's not going to be realistic. So you make sure you set yourself realistic goals for your body type, for your own circumstances, and only you are going to know what is the right goal for you. Okay, and also bear in mind that usually what the case is, it's easier to drop body fat faster than it is to drop this to add the same amount of weight in muscle. Okay, so to lose a pound of body fat would usually be a lot faster than it would be to build a pound of muscle. Okay, so just get your education again and get an understanding of what the body does and how the body works, and you're going to be far more in a better place to set yourself goals. Now this brings you on to the second point here as to what happens if you set yourself a goal and you don't reach it. If you set yourself a goal to lose, say, 20 pounds of body fat in the next, say, 3 months maybe, and say, for example, it's January the 1st now, and you say, right, okay, January, February, February, March, April the 1st, no, March the 1st, you want to, actually, all of January, all of February, all of March, April the 1st, there you go. So I was getting a bit mixed up there. So April the 1st, so you give yourself 3 months of trying to lose that weight, okay? So you give yourself 3 months to lose the weight. And come April the 1st, you have lost only, say, 15 pounds of body fat, okay? And your goal was 20. Well, is that such a bad thing? That you're 5 pounds off your goal? You may actually exceed your goal, but even if you don't reach your goal, all you do is you extend the deadline, but you just work just as hard towards that deadline of April the 1st as though, you're trying to reach your goal. Work as hard as you can possibly can within that time, and then measure along the way and you'll see where you're at. So for example, at the moment, my goal is to reduce my body fat to a certain level, and looking at the calendar at the moment, I'm pretty much on track to reach that goal. But I know if when the day comes, I'm still not completely happy with the results. Mine is more to do with sort of the appearance and the way it looks. And if I'm not happy, I'm just going to move the goal over by another 2 weeks. I've already done sort of, 2.5, 3 months of this anyway. So what's an extra week? What's an extra 2 weeks? It's about having the right attitude and the right mindset about this, and realizing if you don't reach your goal, it's not such a bad thing because you've tried to reach it anyway, and in the process you would have still got benefits. It's not an either or thing. If you don't reach your goal, you lose and you go home empty-handed. You don't go home empty-handed. I use the metaphor of sort of learning to drive a car, right? If you, when I learned to drive a car, the first time I did a bunch of lessons, and then the day of my driving test, I made one more mistake than I should have done, and basically I failed my driving test, I think by 1 point. Now, if you looked at it on the surface, you might say, oh, well, that was a failure. It was all a waste of time. But it wasn't, because I intended to keep going. So I just went and did a few more lessons, sat my test again, and then I passed. I passed the second time round, okay? And I could carry forward the skills that I developed the first time. In the first bunch of lessons, I just carried them over. And then it allowed me then to do my second test back to back and pass. Okay, so it's never a waste of time. Whenever you're taking action, it's never a waste of time, because you're learning in the process and you're still gaining along the way. Now, when it comes to passing your test, if you do just enough but you don't pass your test and you don't have no intention of doing a second test, then yes, in a way, you've got all these skills you can't really put to use because you're not legally allowed to drive. But when it comes to the body, whatever progress you make is still progress, right? Like, even if you lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever it might be, you're still making progress. Okay, and that's the name of the game here, guys. Commit to progress, not perfection. Okay, now I would encourage you have a deadline, because that will sort of put a bit of a fire up the backside, if that's so to speak. You know, it's going to kind of push you on to really go for it. But at the same time, regardless if you reach your goal exactly how you wanted it, it doesn't matter. You're going to learn from it, and you'll also know what your body's capable of. Once you do that, you'll be able to say in the future, if you ever want to drop another 20 pounds or whatever, whatever your fitness goals might be, you'll have a good idea as to the level of effort and the way your body's going to behave to be able to achieve that. You may exceed the goal, you might get that goal much faster, or it might take you a little bit longer, but you know what your body's capable of, and then you can plan accordingly. Okay, guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to learn more mindset techniques like this to be able to get the right frame of mind so they can help you basically lose stubborn body fat, as I'm doing right now, and add some lean muscle, then click the link below this video and you'll be taken to my website where you can get access to my Think Yourself Lean 7 mindset secrets that you need to have in order to help you get in shape permanently and naturally. And also make sure you subscribe to my channel. Just hit the button at the top of this video and give it a thumbs up as well, because that will help me get this out to other people. And if you've got a question or a comment, just leave it in the comment section below as well. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys very soon. Take care.